Good morning, my friends. Welcome to Tangle Time Arts. My name is Nana Heron, and I'm a certified Zentangle teacher. And today we're going to take a quick look at Pangea. Pangea is a really fun organic type of tangle, and it was introduced at ZenAgain in 2021. It's usually paired with a tangle called Mrth, but I thought today we'd take a look at Pangea with maybe trying a different tangle running through it, like static. All right, so for today's tile, you'll just need either an original Zentangle tile, or you could use a sketchbook or any type of white paper. And then I'm using an apprentice pen today, but any black pen, a number 2 pencil, and a tortillon. All right, once you have gathered those supplies, we are going to start. And we're just going to start directly with our pen on the paper. Pangea is really cool because it is so organic. And I'm going to start in the center here. And I'm forming just kind of a random, almost like a blob type of shape. And then from that, we're going to pick a side and we're going to kind of aura around that side. And then from there, build off another organic type of sheet, um, organic type of shape, sorry. So the inspiration for Pangea was it's kind of like the continents when they were all together and then they spread apart. So we're actually building little continents, and they can look different. And you're just building off of the previous shapes. And I'm going to let this run off the tile here because we can, and it's going to make it really interesting. I'm going to rotate this and work off of our original little continent here. And kind of just go with the flow and let your shapes fill in. They're all going to look a little bit different. In a way, they're kind of like puzzle pieces almost, but you're leaving these areas in between. I like to think of it as almost like water. If you think of these as continents, this will kind of almost be like waterways. And here I'm going to kind of, again, run off the page with a larger continent, a larger shape. And I'm going to fill in some smaller ones here. And maybe we'll let it run off the corner. So with this one, the key is just really letting your lines flow naturally wherever your pen wants to go. but you're always going to be creating an aura around at the edge of one, at least one, maybe a couple more shapes. I'll let this one run off the edge like that. So now we have something like this. Again, they're like continents separating, or if you want to think of them as maybe like little puzzle pieces, but they're very organic. Once we have our Pangea on the paper, you can fill it, you can fill each individual one with a tangle. And again, it was introduced with a tangle called Mrth, and we'll take a look at that one at a different time. But I thought we'd do something a little different today. So you can look at each Pangea shape as like a fragment, and you could put different tangles in each one. But I'd like to run another tangle throughout the entire tile. And I've chosen static for that. If you'd like, you can change pen colors, but I'm just going to go with the black. And static is this really cool, it's almost like a zigzag type of shape. And you could do that in each individual shape here, but we are going to run it across the entire tile, okay? So I'm going to start kind of in the middle area here and on the left-hand side, and I'm just going to start running the static as I would, but when it comes to areas that are separated, I'm going to lift my pen and travel over to the other side and come down and keep going. Like that. So we have our static running through the Pangea. And from there, it's just a matter of using the aura technique. So I'm going to start with the bottom half, and I'm going to aura around our original static lines. Being careful to always lift and travel over to the other side and land. Now you might have more zigzags shapes than I do. Or you might have less. I will say that even though static looks simple, when we're doing it within the Pangea, it requires a lot of focus. So for this one, this would kind of come down to here, and then I would pivot and go back up. And now for this area, this would probably start kind of down here and go up. This is going to come down here. It really encourages that meditative state once you get in your flow with adding static lines. I think I kind of missed an area here, so I'm just going to add a line there. And you could, if you want, you could stop here. You could just leave it like that. I'm going to keep going so that when we shade, you can see the static better. Static is one of those that's it's almost like an optical illusion once you shade it. I'm pretty much done for this area here. So now I can just kind of finish these smaller areas. Like that. That's cool. It almost looks like we have a mountain running through there, and these now almost look like clouds. It's kind of cool. But I'm going to keep going, and now I'm going to work on the top half and just using the same technique. If you would like to rotate your tile, you can. I think this would kind of come up here. We're done for this shape here. And sometimes you need to air draw quite a bit like we did over here because you have to kind of skip over some areas to get to where you need to go. And then I think with this one, maybe we could go there a little bit. We're almost at the end, so we can just fill those in. And these would just be lines this way. All right, so those are all filled in now. And we can put our pen away and pick up our pencil, our number 2 pencil. So the way I like to shade static is to kind of go along the points here. So if you can see all these points all the way down. So I'm just going to at first add the graphite along those points. And I'm going to add that until the other set of points going the other direction. So I'm kind of just shading that whole area. All right, then I'm going to look for another set of points that are pointed up, which I have one here. And again, I'm going to shade to the right of that like I did here. But first I'm going to kind of follow the points up so I know where I'm going and follow them down. And then go over to where the points are pointing down. And then kind of fill in. You don't have to add a really dark layer of shading. I'll add a little, I'll use a little heavier hand here because it'll show up better on the camera for you. So I'll go back over that. But you probably want to go in kind of lightly. So we're working on our next set of points that are pointed up. And we're going to shade all the way over to where they are pointing down. And I always like to put graphite on those areas first so I know where I'm going, how far I can shade over to. Be careful to always keep these little borders or rivers or whatever you picture them as. Those are empty. I'm just kind of darkening some areas. And then I'm going to trade out my pencil for my tortillon, and I'm just going to kind of blend that so it has a much nicer, smoother look. So I just thought it'd be fun to do something a little bit different today, because sometimes I get in a phase where I always do the same thing, and I tend to always pair Pangea with Mrth because that's how they were introduced and that's how I learned both of the tangles. But sometimes it's fun to try something different, to think outside of the box. And I think this will be fun with different colors as well. And static's just really fun, and it's easy to fill larger spaces with it. And what I like about it is the more of the zigzag shapes you have, the up and down, the more of an optical illusion you're going to get. And that is Pangea with the static running through it. So you can experiment with that either in combination or separately, and try static without the Pangea just for the fun of it, to see what kind of optical illusions you can get. But that was just a quick tutorial for today. I know I've been running a little bit behind, so I just wanted to get something out there for you guys to work with. And we will in the future pair Pangea with Mrth because that's my favorite. Um, Mrth is really cool. So we'll have fun with that on another day. Thank you for joining me. Oh, let me write the names of those. So that was Pangea, and we had static. And today's date was 4/22, 2024. And again, you probably want to put your chop in there somewhere. So with this one, I'm just probably going to tuck it into a corner like this, kind of blend it into the static. All right. Thank you for joining me today. It's been fun, and I'll be back next weekend with another tutorial. I hope you have a wonderful day and a wonderful week. And remember, I love you guys. See you next time. Bye-bye.